Hello everyone. I wanted to take a few minutes today to try to explain to you why there's so much chaos and confusion in the world and no one seems to understand what's going on. And I wanted to start off from a religious perspective just with showing you the Ten Commandments. What are the Ten Commandments? Okay, I have a list of the Ten Commandments right here, and I can just, I don't know if you can see those, but I can read them down for you. Okay, they say, you shall have no other gods before me, shall not make any graven images, shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, honor your father and mother. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor, and you shall not covet. This is one version of the commandments. Now I just wanted to look at how well we're following this, because we all seem to think that we're all pretty good people and we're all doing like a good job. We're pretty nice and may not be perfect, but we're doing okay. All right, well, let's go down before here, see how far we have to get before we get to see where we're kind of like breaking a lot of these. Well, here's one. Shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Like, I hear this every single day, I mean, people using God's name in vain. Don't think twice about it. Okay, probably 50 times a day I hear God's name being used in vain. Thou shalt not murder. It says kill, but it's actually, the actual translation should say murder. Thou shalt not murder. Gee, we're just murdering all kinds of babies. Millions even, aren't we? Like, are we supported or something called freedom of choice? Shall not commit adultery or sexual immorality. Oh. Geez, like I just hear all the time that that's okay now, to do all that stuff. Sex outside of marriage is okay. What else is okay? Oh, homosexuality. That's kind of normal now to be homosexual. Nothing wrong with that. We're just born that way. Shall not steal. My daughter her car got robbed a couple of days ago, broken. Used all our credit cards to charge like $4,000 worth of stuff. Bear false witness. That seems to be going on a lot in the newspapers, like people making up fake stories, and just kind of seen that over and over again in the last few years. And bear false witness, and shall not covet. Okay, that's the whole thing of redistribution of wealth. Like at least half the country believes that they should be the possessors of other people's money. Okay, so like had no other gods before. Oh, that's like money. Power, money and power. No other gods before me, graven images. Okay, well, so we can see that when we look at this, we're not really doing too well on these things. Need to do a little bit better, guys. Okay, so back when, I was, a teenager, whatever, everybody knew these and everybody knew they broke them. But you know what? They considered it to be wrong when they broke them. Around the 70s or something like that, I started to notice more and more people were saying, hey, like, we're breaking these rules, but, there's nothing wrong with breaking the rules. It's okay. It's okay if we sleep together. It's okay for homosexuals. That's okay. Sodomy, that's okay. Freedom of choice, of course, that's a good thing. Stealing just a little bit's all right, and false witness if it profits you, okay. And like I said, like we all just kind of covet those who have more money than we have now. We just want it for ourselves, okay, no problem. Okay, so there was a basic switch there when back in the 70s, people not only did what was wrong, like they did in the 60s and the 50s and whatever, they still did what was wrong. But the basic switch was people started to say, what we're doing isn't wrong. I'm sorry. The Ten Commandments are wrong. We're not wrong. Okay, it's okay to do this stuff, really. All right, when we did that fundamental little shift and thought, we started calling God a liar because, of course, God says these things are wrong. So if I say, well, they're not really wrong, I've already decided they're not wrong. I don't care what God says. God is a liar when he says these things are wrong. They're not wrong. Trust me. We're calling God a liar. And, okay, so what happens when you start calling God a liar? You are an enemy of God. So if you go around saying, it's okay to be homosexual, you know, everybody does it, like you're at enmity with God, with what God says, because God says this stuff is wrong. Okay, so if you're that kind of a person, that's what side you're on. No matter how many ribbons you wear, how good you feel about yourself, you're on the wrong, kind of on the wrong side because you're telling God something isn't wrong, and God, when God is saying it is wrong. Or what happens when you do that? Okay, so I've just told God he doesn't know what right and wrong is. I do. So what happens when you do that? Well, it's like you become blind to what really is right and wrong. You can't tell anymore. It's like you see one thing, you say, "No, is that right or wrong?" And well, I'm not sure. Well, I'll just decide one way, but who knows? It's like you're adrift in a sea of confusion, and that is where the world is today, adrift in a sea of confusion. And the reason they're adrift in a sea of confusion is because they have called God a liar and decided they would make up their own morality. Now they have no idea what right and wrong is, so anything goes. They're blind. So when you see all these things happening in the world and people reacting to them in different ways, and you look and say, was that right or is that wrong? Should he be doing that or shouldn't be doing that? You have nothing to say about it because you can't tell anymore what right and wrong is. You're basically at the mercy of whatever happens. You will not be able to do the right thing anymore. So now, say if I'm a person that, all right, I've said that homosexuality, yep, that's okay. Abortion, freedom of choice, that's okay. Say if I've done that. How do I get out of this blindness that I have that I can't see anymore what's right and wrong? Well, it's easy. It's you just repent. Stop doing it. Tell God you're sorry for usurping his authority, and making yourself God. What was that? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Ah, yes, no other gods before me. If you make yourself God, put yourself in the place of God, you become evil. So that's the story. If you can't tell what's going on in the world today, that's why. Thank you for listening.